Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for mid-July 2025. We're going to jump right in here. You have this negotiation and this status card coming up in your first row. And this is going to be your row of your current general energies for the middle of the month. What I would say is I'm doing this video on July 11th, so it'll be published on the 12th. And no matter when you are watching it, I would start one thing. I know I always say this to you, Pisces, but this is literally your last chance. I would say maybe until the 21st or so. But really, I would, if you're trying to do something new in your life, I would get started before the 17th, basically. And again, you don't have to do anything big. It's kind of like staking your claim, right? It's like you have to, I think you have to put those stakes in the ground around something that you're wanting to accomplish. The reason being is that we have these weird retrogrades and everything. It's also weird that next year Jupiter is going to enter into Leo and retrograde at the same point as Mars and Mercury now are going to be retrograding in Leo, right, as well. And I don't know, it just it's popping into my head as important for you, Pisces. It's popping into my head as kind of if you could start something new project-wise or business-wise, now, it's really gonna set you up for the long haul. But it's what I feel like saying is, bear with me, because this is a message that's coming in here, Pisces. What's popping into my head is that it's it's how your life is right now, today, on the 11th, right? It's that is what you're going to be revisiting over the next year, right? Or something like that. Or it's that's what you're setting yourself up for. But I feel if you, get started on something that could increase your status here with this status card, that you would be in such a better place, And really, there are no risks right now for you, Pisces. I mean, you have Jupiter in Cancer. It's kind of it's imagine having a parachute, but you're just jumping off of a table. It's that's the risk. It's you are, it's almost I see you in my head acting as if you are jumping out of an airplane, getting started on some sort of big project. But it's not only do you have a parachute, but you're actually you're just standing about 3 feet off the ground, not even, right? And I feel Pisces needs to have that realization. I feel very passionate about saying this to you, Pisces, that, it's this could be a really good time of your life, and I would take advantage of it and make the move. Do the thing that's going to increase your status. You have the Queen of Wands, the Two of Swords, and the Page of Cups. Queen of Wands about being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want. So I definitely feel it would be a good time for you to be bold, be assertive, really go for what you want, of course. She kind of is a queen that would have status or would be trying to gain status in her life. So a lot of you are probably trying to level up. You do have a couple of good cards of leveling up. Actually, a few. You have the Six of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, Chariot, and the Two of Wands. These are all very good cards for leveling up and taking things to the next level. I also feel you need to believe that you can be happy, Pisces. You have this sunflower right here. I do think it's a weird time. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I do think that there are things going on right now that make you feel not happy. I think there are things going on right now that do make you feel happy. I feel there are things going on that make you doubt the future. All that is rushing into my head. And, I feel that in some ways this is saying it's not about ignoring the bad things, but it's just about caring about yourself enough to invite in more of the good things, right? And that's what I feel she is screaming in your reading, is nurture yourself, right? And if you do that, good things will happen. You have the Two of Swords. See, you have this negotiation card here. And this is not a bad card. This is Jupiter in Libra. And it's not a bad card, but sometimes I feel the card is saying don't negotiate. And I definitely feel that with the Two of Swords, because she's thinking this or that, right? But there's a better option behind her. I kind of feel this is saying don't settle for your current circumstances. I feel pretty good about this reading, Pisces, as we get into it. It's I'm not saying this is going to be easy, but I kind of feel a little bit of a fire lit under your ass here. It's you might feel a little bit behind. You might feel you might feel there are certain things that, there's pressure to complete certain things in your life, especially if you're working on something new. But I also feel you will do it, so I would get moving here. The other thing is, that I want to stress is, again, if you're thinking about starting something new, it's as simple as driving a stake into the ground. You don't have to do anything major here to before the Mercury retrograde to get started, right? And so, if you're thinking about starting a new project or a new direction in your life, you just have to drive the stake into the ground, which could be like you just need to claim it, or you just need to, like, maybe you want to start a podcast. Just, do an episode by yourself and put it on YouTube. No one's going to see it anyway, right? So who cares, right? But I think the simple act of driving that stake into the ground, that's what this reading is screaming to me, to you, right? And so I would get moving with this energy. And I feel like this is saying, don't settle for the old life, right? You have the Page of Cups, definitely a good love time for Pisces. I think there could be a lot of communication. I mean, it's almost impossible. Mercury retrograde, number 1, in your 7th. Also, kind of Jupiter in your 5th. Right? Jupiter in your 5th is notorious for bringing love into your life. So I think for a lot of you, you definitely could be, kind of bringing in a new connection, or there could be a new connection coming in for you. And, obviously that would be very good for you. And I shouldn't say that Mercury retrograde's in your 7th, because for most of you, it's probably actually your 6th house. You're going to have to look at your astrology, right? And so people always correct me, and they always tell me I'm wrong, but then I'm always actually, you're wrong, because you can't see every Pisces chart, right? So we're both wrong, right? But what I would say here is I would look at your chart. But again, just in that area, the sky, 5th, 6th, 7th, over the next several years are kind of lit up. Jupiter traveling through your 5th right now, then it will go into your 6th and your 7th. Like I said, it's a really good time for connections and, meeting new people and all that other stuff. So I would put yourself out there if you are looking for love. For sure, Pisces. But let's see what, and you could get, I mean, this is one thing I will say is that this could be a little bit of unwanted attention as well. So, you might have to practice putting up boundaries and saying no and things like that, right? With the Queen of Wands, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Yes, it does not matter where you get started. You just have to get started. The Knight of Pentacles, all he has to do is plant the seed. That's it. And there is no risk for him. The thing about the Knight of Pentacles is that he's not planting seeds in these fields. He's worried about taking the risk, but it isn't a risk. Everything about him represents knowledge and wisdom. He has everything he needs to be ridiculously successful, but he just has to plant those seeds. With the Two of Swords, you have the Three of Cups. Yeah, Three of Cups is about finding support and, finding people who can support you on your journey. But I definitely feel there could be some sort of harvest coming in for you if you're trying to grow something or build something. So, this could be a harvest, or you could be, creating a lot more success with the Three of Cups as well. With the Page of Wands, you have the Six of Wands. Told you, a lot of attention. Six of Wands is a lot of attention coming in for you, Pisces. I would definitely take advantage of the attention. I think Pisces is definitely one of the signs that should be sharing their voice more. You have a lot of stuff going through your 3rd house as well. You have had that, and in kind of take a lot of stuff in your 1st even, and a lot of stuff in your 2nd over the years now moving forward. And a lot of this, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd houses are personal houses, and so it's all that energy is how you are perceived by the world, and the things that you share with the world, and the things that you value in the world. So it's definitely time for you to speak up more. You have 2 6s here. 2 6s is kind of very good. 2 6s to me is major confirmation for the path that you're on. So I love 2 6s, and whatever you're doing, you're moving towards success. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you at this time, you have this new life card and this fates card. Yes, fate has a new life in store for you, Pisces, is what this is saying to me. Or it's there is a fated new life, but I do think you have to accept it. Again, don't get trapped. I really, I'm always very careful with these warnings, because I think that really, it's I don't think there are things we are supposed to do in life, right? It's we are here to create our own reality. I don't even think that astrology can control our life that much, right? I think we can change it, and we can work with the energy and all that other stuff. But if there was ever a time where I really feel Pisces should again, drive that stake into the ground and, claim your spot right now, the new spot, the new thing that you're wanting to do with your life, it would be right now. And, I think fate is on your side. I think the universe is on your side. The universe wants to lift you up, but you have to claim it. You have to do it. This lady is being lifted up on this pedestal. I feel like you're about to be lifted up on a pedestal, but you have, like I said, you have to claim it. And it is fated, but you, at the same time, the universe isn't going to do it for you. You have the Six of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, and the Nine of Wands. Six of Pentacles is like equal give and take, and it's also a card of planting seeds, which I definitely feel you are probably moving in new directions here with the Six of Pentacles. I would be careful like what you're giving your energy to. Again, I would only be giving energy to things that you want to grow at this time, especially like this week. So today's the 11th. I think I messed up last week and I said that these were the readings for the week of the 13th, but it's actually the 14th. So I would say that the whole week of the 14th, right, this third week of the month or whatever the hell it is, second week, I don't know. But that whole week, I would do something to like plant seeds in a new direction, and can be small little things that you're doing. But I think that these seeds will grow very quickly because you have the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is things happening fast. So I think that there could be a lot of progress and growth happening for you very quickly here with the Eight of Wands. I also, I get something about good news here for you, Pisces. So if you've been waiting for communication or like good news from something, especially in work, Six of Pentacles, but you also have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles can be a clue for a change at work. So, I feel for a lot of you, this could be like some sort of change that's happening in work or something. But, this would be a positive change, like a raise, promotion, or it's like maybe you got approval for something that you've been waiting for. Also, a lot of movement here, Pisces. Even though Jupiter has left your 4th house, doesn't really matter. I still think that a lot of you could be moving and traveling and things like that as well because of Uranus. It's kind of weird that I didn't even think about this, but like before, it's like if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I move around a lot, right? And I'm always like traveling, like I shoot my videos all over the place, right? But for like the past like year-ish, I haven't been anywhere, and But just right before Uranus ticked over into Gemini, I booked a bunch of trips and I'm traveling all like the rest of the year basically, right? And so it's kind of funny, and I think a lot of you could be moving. That's why I'm saying that, because a lot of you could be moving around, or you could just want movement. The other thing is you don't have to go anywhere, right? This could just be movement, that you are making moves in life, and I feel that would be a good thing. So there you go. You have the Nine of Wands. It's like, I feel like saying, what would Pisces do if they were like 1,000 times more bold? Like, what would you do, Pisces, with your life? If you were, if nothing could stop you, if you were completely unstoppable, what would that life look like? If you had all the magic powers that have ever existed and there were no limits, if you were basically God. I'm sure that's going to offend somebody saying that, but I don't know, get over it. But basically, if you were, like, what would you make happen? And I don't know, there's something about that. Like, I feel like you need to be asking yourself these ridiculous questions, because it's like, are you really that unstoppable? I don't know. Maybe you are. And I think this Nine of Wands is asking you to be that brave, And so I think it's a time for bravery, especially this week, the week of I'm talking about, yes, I know this is a mid-monthly reading, but I'm talking about like from the 12th until the end of whatever the week of the 14th is. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Star. Yeah, it's like shooting for the stars is what I feel like Pisces needs to do right now. Again, you are going to revisit this time. And, I think that just, having something set is going to make your life so much better. Instead of like look at your life right now, today. Maybe it's not bad, but it could be better, right? So it's like, what stake, or maybe multiple stakes, could you drive into the ground so that when we come back to this time, it's significantly better, right? It's like, what can you get started on now that will greatly improve it? I hope this is making sense. It's a weird reading, but, I don't know. I like it at the same time. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups can be like regrets or sadness. This could be like a person coming back from the past or something here, Pisces. You've been getting this. And again, obviously Mars is in your 7th for some of you. Mars in this, like if Leo is your 7th house, which for some of you it probably is, like if you're an early morning Pisces, if you're born early in the morning, for example, some of you. But again, you're gonna have to look at your own chart, right? But if Mars in the 7th is like notorious for bringing people back. Plus Mercury's going to go retrograde there, so it could be someone coming back with regrets. I don't know. Do whatever you want. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Emperor, really taking control of your life. You need to be the Emperor. Everybody does, because we have Saturn and Neptune and Aries. They're both retrograding out, but it doesn't matter. We all need to like really take the lead on something, and we need to be bold and assertive, and we need to pretend like we are, kind of like those Avengers movies, the guy with the glove that I'm blanking on right now. We need to have the Infinity Stones, where it's almost like we are like God, like we are unstoppable. And I feel that a lot of you need to, take the actions that you would take, because again, like I said, you're standing on a table. You're not standing at the edge of an airplane like you think. That's the analogy I want to use for Pisces, is that Pisces feels like they're at the edge of an airplane, but you're not. There you go. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this A Time to Remember card. It says, look back on your childhood. You have this card that says, say yes. Now is the time to be open and receive. Yes, definitely. Now is the time, Pisces. And, Jupiter in Cancer and, is amazing for receiving for Pisces. So I would be open to receiving new things just in general. Also, I'm getting something about like putting yourself in a calmer space, in a less, anxiety space or whatever. It's like lately, I've been talking about this a lot because it's like greatly helped me just in general, which is usually what I talk about. But, I've been doing a lot of tapping, so there are 1.5 billion free tapping videos on YouTube. It doesn't cost any money, right? So tapping, meditating, I've been going for walks a lot lately. Believe it or not, I'm getting a tan here at Pisces. So I don't know if you can see this. Right, but like, look, it's like I'm not a vampire anymore. It's like I have this farmer's tan going on. So again, I've been touching grass. I've been getting outside. These are all things I'm passionate about right now because I just think these things are extra beneficial for Pisces. Doing things to not bring the energy down but to calm yourself down because the energy is up. But when the energy is up, I think you need to be calm enough to take advantage of it, right? You have the Moon, the Three of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. The Moon is you. Whenever you show up as yourself, kind of puts you in a position of power and strength, allows you to get what you want from a reading. I feel pretty good about this Moon for you here. It's like you don't know exactly where you're going, but you don't have to. I literally, again, if I can't stress this enough, Pisces, I literally feel all you have to do this month, July, before the 17th, is put that stake in the ground. Like, just claim something. And there's a million ways we can claim something, right? Like I said, if it's like you're starting a podcast or a YouTube channel, just put up that first video. It doesn't matter what it is. Because when you just do it, when you get it started, you're claiming it. And now you're not starting it during the retrograde. And yes, we're in the shadow. But again, if you're going to worry about the shadows and your mom being in retrograde and all these other things, then you're never going to get anything done in life, right? So I don't care about shadows personally. I don't even care about retrogrades. I start things on purpose during retrograde. So there you go. But, again, I think I would get started now. You have the Three of Swords. It is an excellent time for healing. I would do whatever you can to heal at this time. Like, this could be literal health. It could be mental state. It could be your anxiety. It could be whatever you want it to be. But I think taking time to heal is excellent right now. And, just like I said, I really have nothing to add to it, Pisces, because I feel just taking the time to do it will be very beneficial. You have the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like Pisces is very focused on the resources. She is like very practical and straightforward. We have this Moon that's going to be happening in Capricorn as well. Or did. I forgot that you're basically watching this after. So, again, it's very like a practical time. And I feel that you could be just tapping into that like practical energy. And that's probably a good thing. So I would do it. With the Moon, you have the Ace of Wands. Yes, you need to let your imagination run wild, is what the Moon and the Ace of Wands is saying to me, to you. It's, again, really, it's about, kind of believing that you can do anything. This reading, as cliche as that sounds, and then going and doing it. So I think that is really what this reading is kind of getting at. I feel you need to be inspired at this time as well. As I always say, as I've been saying for years, Pluto in Aquarius says that we have to be the inspiration. I think the best thing that we can do is we need to be the inspiring one. We need to be the inspiration for other people. And we need to live our life that way. And if you do that, things will go very well. With the Three of Swords, you have the Magician. It's like, you are a reflection of everything, Pisces. And I feel like you need to think about that. It's like, what are you attracting right now? Like, what is imperfect? What is perfect? Right? This is a very deep reading, Pisces. I feel almost overwhelmed by this reading in certain ways. I'm not trying to scare you or anything. I don't think this is bad. I want to say this is just a very deep reading that I feel. And I feel like a lot of you could be having a lot of those moments where you are thinking about like what you've attracted. I don't even think he's talking about anything. This reading is almost it's just very weird. But what I would say about how I feel about the Magician is I feel like you are looking at your reflection. Literally, I am literally looking at my reflection right now as I say that. So I think you are looking at your reflection here, Pisces, but it's like it feels very honest to me, which is very good. I would say as well. Like Like, you could be having moments of deep reflection this week where you're saying to yourself, like, oh, like, I want to accomplish this thing, but I'm not that thing, And, like, I would just, maybe this is why I'm getting the healing, going for walks and things like that, because you probably are crunching the numbers up here. It's like sometimes I think when we have these thoughts, we need to go for a walk so we can, put things in order, in life, so we can figure out what we want. And, especially, I don't know, I feel like this week is like a turning point, the week of the 14th, right? Specifically, the next week after the last week of the month is actually pretty good. We have that moon on the 24th as well, which could be very good for you, Pisces, around that time. So, like 3 days before, 3 days after. So that week, the last week of the month should be pretty good for you. But, I'm not saying this week is bad either. I just think it's deep. I think you're doing a lot of work on yourself. So that's exactly what I would be doing. And, of course, the Magician is pointing towards the Seven of Pentacles here. So it's like, by having these thoughts, looking at your reflection and being honest with yourself and saying, I attracted these things, the good things and the bad things, then you can say to yourself, well, I need to get rid of, with the Seven of Pentacles, I need to change this behavior so I stop attracting, XYZ into my life. And maybe I need to double down on this other behavior to attract the good things, right? So this is not bad. This is just deep work. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, good. I think your money is increasing. Again, the last week of July is pretty good for you for money. And, especially around that moon. So I think that if you've been putting in the work, you could be getting a lot of results here. I think the results could surprise you here, Pisces. Especially if you've, like, let's say you've been working on something for years. I feel like I always say this to you that, Pisces needs to realize that it's like, that something might seem like it's happened overnight, but it hasn't. I think it's taken you like 20 years. It's like I also feel like Pisces is making something harder. It's like, and what I mean by this is that it's like, imagine if you had 20 years of experience, doing something in business, but it's like you've never actually done it. But now you're getting an opportunity to use your experience. It's like, if you're starting a business, for example, and you've been learning hard for like 20 years, right, and you're about to start a business, you might be thinking to yourself like, oh, the barrier to entry is way up here because it's hard for everybody else to do things. But it's like you're not including the knowledge that which makes things go like this. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how to describe what I want. I don't know how to say what I want to say apparently today, but it's like you are overestimating what you need for something to be successful, because of like the past 20 years. There you go. Next, you can't make this up. In the area of the good stuff, you have this Make Your Mark card. It says, stick to a decision and don't allow any outside forces to sway you. Yes, make your mark. Drive the stake into the ground. Might as well be the same thing. Can't make this one up either. Capricorn, challenges. It says, it will not be easy path, but if you build discipline, you will achieve your goal. The whole entire reading basically said that. So, you're definitely achieving or accomplishing something hard here, Pisces, and I feel like it'll be, very good for you, so I like it. You have the Chariot, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands. Chariot can be a victory or a big success coming in for you. He is very focused, and he's also not afraid to set himself apart. I'm telling you right now, I think the best thing for Pisces to do right now is be different. Is to be your weird little fishy self. Don't be like anyone else, right? He is leaving the crowd behind. And again, to realize that there is no risk right now. Nothing, like, again, this is, I feel like I shouldn't have to do this, but I do, but nothing can hurt you right now. Now, disclaimer, obviously, if you do something stupid, you will get hurt, right? But, what I would say here is that the only risk is not taking a risk. The only risk is, not living your life as you really want to, and, being stuck to things that you don't want to be stuck to, right? And that is the only risk. So I feel like it's time to charge. It's like you need to be like Braveheart. You need to be like Mel Gibson, and you need to be paint yourself blue, and charge ahead and conquer whatever it is you're trying to conquer. That's the type of attitude. I'm gonna watch that movie. I'm actually gonna watch Braveheart and The Patriot today, because there you go. That's like the motivation I think Pisces needs right there. You need to be like Braveheart, Pisces. You have the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, major changes here. Very deep reading. Again, very deep introspective reading as well. Again, specifically the week of the 14th, I would be kind to yourself. I would take your time, although I would get started. It's like, I would drive that stake into the ground. The next week is probably the week that you actually are charging ahead. The important part is the driving the stake in the ground, because that's the actual start, right? And that's what this reading is saying. But I also don't think you have to charge until like next week. So, the last week of the month or whatever the hell it is, right? So there you go. But definitely some big changes. You have the Two Wands. Yeah, Two Wands is taking the lead. Definitely time for Pisces to be a leader. You have the Emperor. You have the Star card. You know, the Star is being an inspiration. The Two Wands is kind of like taking the lead and charging forward towards something that you really want in your life with the Two Wands. So I think that's what you have to do. I also think it's time to leave something in the past. You know, you have all this stuff. The Chariot, he's leaving that city behind him. The Two Wands, he's letting go of this wand right here. I kind of feel that for you, Pisces, where it's like you're letting go of something that's a little bit scary to let go of, you know? Like I said, like it's like jumping off of a table. I hope that makes sense. With the Chariot, you have the Six of Swords. Yeah, moving on to calmer shores. Definitely improvements, right? It's like taking this risk that feels scary is going to be the thing that makes you very successful. I hope this reading is making sense. I feel like this is for like 0.0001% of you. It's like I feel like I'm reading for one person. So I don't know. It's one of those weird readings where it's like most of you are probably going to leave comments calling me crazy, and the other one, then that one person is going to be happy. So there you go. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Really good time for money for Pisces, but you know, again, money is changing. You know, I've been saying this. You can literally go back to the live tab on my channel, go to the oldest lives. That I used to talk about this all the time, that in 2026, when Neptune officially enters into Aries and officially leaves Pisces, because it's going to retrograde into Pisces this year, and then it's going to leave Pisces, that, you know, Pisces rules anything that flows. I mean, you can go back to those videos. I predicted COVID. I predicted all sorts of stuff. I said, you know, all sorts of stuff that came true because of Neptune and Pisces. And I said that this would happen after 15 degrees, which it did. Neptune. Because, you know, I think something people don't know about, like, the end of Pisces is that actually the end of Pisces kind of is more dark. You know, it can, like, the third decan of Pisces can be, like, prison. And so, you know, it's like the end, which is what we've been experiencing the past few years, is a little bit tricky. And, you know, but anyway, where I'm going with this is that money is changing. I wouldn't be worried. I wouldn't be paranoid about it. There's really nothing we can do about it as well. But what I would say is I think we just need to pay attention. That's it. And I don't think it's scary either. I just think we need to, you know, just, you know, have a little bit of money on the side. Don't be spending money all over the place. Stuff like that, right? With the Two of Wands, you have the Four of Wands. Yeah, not really a love reading, but I mean, there could be a little bit of love coming in for you if you want it here, Pisces. You know, the Four of Wands can be marriage, of course. But the Four of Wands also is setting yourself free. Again, I think there's something you need to admit to yourself that you want to set yourself free from. Even though this is coming up in the good stuff, it's like the feeling I get off of that Four of Wands and the Two of Wands is like a breath of fresh air once you do it. You know, I feel like this is after you set yourself free from something with that Four of Wands and Two of Wands, but it's like you have to do it, is what I feel that Four of Wands is saying. So I'm not sure what you have to let go of, but, you know, whatever it is, I would do it. Or, you know, maybe that's not even the right way to put it. It's like committing to the new thing, driving the stake is the success here. You have this harp. It says great happiness on it. Yeah, we see a lot of happiness and have a lot of happiness cards here in this reading. So I thought you had another card that said happiness on it or something. Didn't you? Or am I making that up? Apparently I'm making that up, but I thought one of these said that. But anyway, I think that there could be a lot of happiness coming in for you. You have this January card. I always clarify these monthly cards. You have this rat card. It says someone working against you behind your back. I would be careful of feeling like this because, again, we had Mars retrograde in Leo. We're going to have Mercury is going retrograde in Leo. Mars retrograde is notorious for making you think that people are doing things behind your back, and it might be true, it might not be true, but the whole point with Mars retrograde is to ignore it. So yes, I know that it's Mercury, not Mars, that's now going retrograde, but you have to act as if. You might as well act as if Mars is retrograde because it's basically the same spot, right? And I would just ignore this feeling, and I wouldn't worry too much about it, right? You have this man. It says dealings with relationships with the man. You have this key. It says successful outcomes to your problem. There could be a person that could really help you with your problems here. So if you're dealing with any challenges or difficulties, you know, there could be some solutions here. You have this hills. It says obstacles to overcome. They're hills. They're not mountains. Again, don't don't turn molehills into mountains or whatever it is. I can never get that one right. But you know, again, table, not airplane, right? That's kind of like what's popping into my head with this card. It's like you're thinking you're jumping out of an airplane, but really you're jumping off of a table, you know. And I feel you're like you won't even sprain your ankle, right? So there you go. You have this broken ring. It says parting of the ways either in romance or business. 2 wands, 4 wands. There's definitely something you're leaving behind rather quickly. I wouldn't even worry about it. It's like I see you making changes and being successful a lot faster than you think, and having it be easier than you think. But again, this is taking like 20 years. Again, right? It's like you're making something harder than it needs to be here, Pisces. But I don't know. Very weird reading. Let me know. But thank you for being here, and thank you for putting up with this weird reading, and definitely enjoy your month.